Is it possible for an amateur poker player to become a high-stakes poker player without a poker coach and without studying any poker charts? We're about to find out. Currently, we're in phase one of this challenge, which is win $10,000 playing low to medium stakes poker. And once we do that, we'll take our shot. We booked the $817 win in our first session of the challenge, but today we're not going to be trying to outnit other 1-2 grinders. Instead, we're playing a 5-5 private game up at Peaks, Dallas, and let me tell you guys, I'm absolutely locked in today, okay? As soon as we arrive, we exchange our $1,000 cash for some poker chips, take our seat, and then get right back up, because apparently the max buy-in is $2,000 and not $1,000 like I was told. So I take another $1,000 and exchange it for some more poker chips, and now we're ready to rock. The first 30 minutes of this session was just absolutely amazing. We won 2 PLO double board bomb pots thanks to some punts from our boy Dusty, and we're already up over $1,000. But now it's time to play an actual hand of Hold'em, and we look down at Ace-Jack suited. We are playing 6-handed at the moment, so keep that in mind. I open to 25 and get called by the +1 cutoff and button. And then Frederick in the small blind 3-bets to $200. I feel like he could be doing this pretty light since there were so many callers. So I think Ace-Jack is a great candidate to 4-bet with. So what do? I just call, just like the little nit I am. This brings in the cutoff and the button, so we're 4 ways to a flop, and it comes Queen-Jack 5. So we got top pair. No, we don't. We have second pair. Not sure why I said that, but we have a great kicker and some backdoor draws. If Frederick checks, I check. The cutoff checks, so does the button. I'm starting to think we might have the best hand here. The turn is a 7 of spades. Frederick checks again, and I think if anyone had a queen on the flop, they would have definitely bet. So I think we have the best hand now, and I put out a bet for $350. The cutoff calls, and the other players fold. The river's a 3 of clubs. Now, if he has a missed spade draw, he can't even call a bet, but he will probably bluff at it if I check. So that's what I do. He checks it back. I'm thinking we're good, and then he shows Queen-9 of hearts. So that sucks, and there goes half of our profits. For the next 2 hours, we play the most boring hands you could possibly think of. The kind of hands that make you want to start playing online poker while you're sitting at the table. Yeah, they were that boring. But then I look down at Ace-5 suited. I'm in the $10 straddle, the +1 and button both limp. And then Frederick opens to 100. Just a smooth little 10x open right there. Great sizing, brother. The big blind folds, and I haven't played an interesting hand in 2 hours, so I call. Not too sure why I didn't 3-bet. Probably because I was half asleep. Anyways, the other players all fold. So we're heads up to a flop, and it comes King, Queen, 6, rainbow. Frederick checks, and with absolutely nothing going on for us on this board, I'm going to bet, because why not? I bet $60. Frederick calls. The turn is amazing, though. It's the ace of hearts, giving us top pair. Frederick checks again, and initially I was going to bet, but then it hit me. Frederick's going to have a lot more ace-x holdings on this board than me, and I don't want to start valuing myself. So I check it back. The river is the 8 of hearts. Frederick checks for the 3rd time, and now we know that we have the best hand. And since we checked on the turn, we should get called pretty light here on the river. So I bet 110 for value. Freddie boy thinks about it. Then he thinks about it some more. And then he calls. I show top pair, and he mucks. 30 minutes later, we pick up Ace-9 suited in the big blind. Frederick opens to 25 on the button. The big blind calls, and so do I. Now, the flop is decent, I suppose. It's 6-10 king, all hearts, giving us the stone cold nuts. The big blind checks. I bet 15 to try and induce a raise from one of the other players. That clearly doesn't work. The button folds, but thank God the big blind calls. The turn is a complete brick. The big blind checks again, and this time I bet 50. The big blind calls again. Now, the river is a great card. It's the 9 of spades. Now King Queen makes a straight, and there are plenty of 2-bear combinations my opponent could have here. What's even better is my opponent leads out for a pot-sized bet of 200. We have the nuts and are getting led into for a massive sizing on the river. These are the spots you dream of. Now, the question is, how much should we raise? If he has a straight or 2-pair, he'll probably call a pretty big raise, but I don't want to go too big and allow him to make a big laydown, so I raised to 650. The big blind goes into the tank for almost a full minute. Come on, brother. Stick in the call. Help your boy get to 10K. Nope, he folds and says this.
Nice. King queen.
The nuts.
King queen with king heart.
So clearly, I'm just a straight up nit ball because how the heck does he lay down the nut straight there while holding the king of hearts? We just flopped the flush, so why not do it again? I lead down a king 10 of spades in middle position, open to 30. Dusty calls to my left, and then the button 3-bets to 105. The blinds both fold. Now, because we're playing short-handed, I think the button could be 3-betting really, really light here. So I think a 4-bet is a good option. Now, the reason I'm telling you guys this is because I just call. Gosh, Sam, grow up here, brother. Dusty calls as well. And the flop is unbelievable. It's 6-3-7 all spades. So once again, we flop a flush. Now look, I've tried the little tiny bet to induce a raise technique like 20 times tonight. It's got to work at some point. I bet 25 into 325. That's right, 325. Dusty just calls, and the button doesn't think that 85 to 1 on a call is good enough pot odds, so he folds. The turn is the king of clubs. All right, now it's time to size up. Or we could bet $25 again. Gosh, this is painful to rewatch. Dusty calls. The river is another king. Okay, now we can bet big. Or we can bet 150? What am I doing? Dusty calls. Obviously, we're good, but man, I played this hand like trash. At least I'm showing you guys the hands that I play bad and not just the ones I play good. But yeah, y'all can still rip me up for this one in the comment section. I've been playing for around 4 hours now, and I'm up a little over $1,000. But all of that could disappear after this hand. I look down at pocket jacks on the button. It folds to me, I make it 35. The blinds fold and Eric calls in the straddle. So we're heads up to a flop, and it's the only flop you want to see when you have pocket jacks. It's 6 jack king rainbow. We flop middle set on a pretty dry board. Eric checks. I don't want to scare him off, so I check it back. The turn is the 10 of clubs, and once again, Eric checks. And I don't know why I keep trying this stupid tactic, but I bet tiny for $30, trying to induce a raise. Once again, it doesn't work, but Eric does call. The river is amazing. It's the 10 of hearts. If he somehow has a hand like queen 10, we're about to get paid. Eric checks for a third time, and I think the best option here is to bet big and hope he has a 10. So I overbet the pot for 175. Eric enters the tank. He's just swimming in there. Thinking about all the possible bluffs I could have here. The answer is none, brother. But we're boys, so just call for me, please. Make a little donation. He does. I show the boat, and we're taking down another pot. At this point in the night, I am dead tired. So I announce to everyone that I'm leaving after I play my button, which is like everyone's famous last words before they get scooped. But I always avoid that issue because I basically just fold unless I have aces. Now we have one more hand left before our button. And sure enough, we pick up pocket aces. And that's not even the best part. The best part is that the $10 and the $20 and the $40 straddle are all on. Frederick opens to 125 from the cutoff. It folds to me, and I put in the 3-bet to 290. Now, this sizing is trash because we're out of position and the triple straddle is on, but it doesn't even matter because action folds all the way back to Frederick. Sadly, Frederick does not call. Instead, he raises to $800. Oh my gosh. What is happening right now? I've been playing like trash this whole session, but I'm just running pure and finding myself in dream spots like this. Now, I could just call, but Frederick has been running bad this session and getting absolutely torched. So something tells me if I jam, the tilt will take over and he'll just call it off. And also, he's got to have a really strong hand when he 5-bets me after I 4-bet from the small blind. So we might just be in a classic cooler right now. After going back and forth between calling and raising, I decide that I don't have to put any more thought into this hand. So I rip it all in for 3,400. If Frederick calls and we win this hand, we'll be up. Oh, never mind. Frederick folds. So that was all she wrote for this session, folks. We played like trash, but we ran really good and managed to book a really big win. I'll catch you guys in the outro for the final results. All right, it's about a week later. I just wrapped up editing this video, and as I was editing, I got pretty pissed off because holy crap, we played bad. But it doesn't matter because we booked to win. Here are the results. In the game for $2,000, never had to add on, cashed out for $4,230. That's a win of $2,230, which takes the bankroll challenge all the way to $3,047. So just under 7K left to win in order to go take our shot. Hopefully we get that done sooner rather than later, but who knows? Next session we could lose it all. We could be in the negative. We could be in the red. Who knows? You guys are gonna have to wait and find out. Stay tuned. Until next time, stay locked in, boys. Peace.